first time, it's a privilege that God has given to you. But when you are invited back to the same place to come and speak again, then it has become an honor. And so I feel honored to be back in the house. And I believe very strongly that our time together in these sessions will be impactful and transformational. Now, the way my mind works, because I'm a teacher, is that we need to build precept upon precept, line upon line. And that's one of the reasons why everywhere we go with materials. So if you were not here last year, I will advise that you find time to go listen to what we did last year. Because in the morning session last year, we dealt about kingdom wealth, helping people to really understand this concept of kingdom wealth. And today, we want to now build upon that. So you need to go back and get that. Then in the evenings, we're going to have a session. So I'm doing a different module in the morning session. So we start this morning with part 1. Tomorrow we'll do part 2. And then in the evening, we'll start another module. We'll do part 1. And then tomorrow night, we'll do part 2. But everything we're going to be sharing are from the materials that we have available. So one of the things I learned growing up as a young man, as a matter of fact, man of God, by October, I'm celebrating 35 years in ministry. Yeah, October, yeah. So I'm going to be hosting a 2-day conference, a global pastors and ministers conference. So, okay, we actually have to, so we need to maybe, Paul, we need to, so maybe Modestus will do, there's a link that people can join from all over the world. So we'll do that and do it in the night so that we can show the church so that people can join. So it's a 2 days conference to celebrate my 35 years in ministry. So you can join from anywhere in the world. So you can join. So we're going to so the link for that and everything, we'll put that maybe when we come in the evening. So growing up, I learned, because I always just thought, when we read the Bible has existed for thousands of years. And then you read the Bible, and then you are blessed and you are transformed. And sometimes I'm asking myself, what if they never wrote the Bible? You know? And that's one of the things that I believe God used to inspire me to go into writing. And in the last 4 decades, I've been in ministry 35 years, I've been in church 38 years. When I hear testimonies of people, how that they read a book, sometimes even when I read the book myself, I'm like, are you sure you are the one that wrote it? You know, it just shows you that God is really at work in our lives as his children. So get the materials that will bless you. This one is called The Pathway to Wealth. It's my first book on finance. And last year I shared with you my story. And when I came out of my own personal encounter, I practiced the word and it worked for me. And then I wrote the book on biblical economics just to speak to my primary constituency, the church. Then after that, I wrote The School of Money. This is known now as the Bible of Wealth Creation, The School of Money, How to Make, Manage, and Multiply Your Money, the Entrepreneur's Blueprint. And it's because I personally believe that entrepreneurship is the solution to many of the challenges that we have in our world today. And in Africa, on the continent, we have so much expectation of the government. So we're always expecting government did not do this, government did not do that. But when you study, you find out that all over the world, it's not the job of the government to create jobs. The job of the government is to put infrastructures in place and create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. It is those small businesses that now create jobs. It is those small businesses that build the economy. And that's why we need to understand entrepreneurship and how we can play in that field. So that's the School of Money book. But if you also listen to what's been happening in our world, you realize that there is this narrative, because the challenge sometimes is the fact that balance is missing in many of the things that we see. So much imbalance. So in the last few years, there's been this narrative that everybody should start their own business. So you've heard people say things like, salary is what they pay you to forget your dreams. You've heard people say all kinds of stuff. And then we now have a lot of young people that have become entrepreneurs with nothing to show for it. They have complimentary card, they have the suit and tie, they have skirt suit, they have mobile phone, but they are just jobless people lazing around claiming to be entrepreneurs. And they go a whole year. Their wives are suffering, their children are suffering, their bills are not being paid, but they are claiming to be entrepreneurs instead of going to get a job and earning a salary just because they want to be called MDCU or damaging director. So I realized that as one that God has given a voice on a global platform, I needed to do something. And that's why I released this book. This is my latest work, How to Create Wealth as a Career Person. The Entrepreneur's Guide to the World. So tonight, that's what I'm going to be dealing with in the night session, because a lot of people are not here now because they are earning salary. They are somewhere here. So we're going to help them when they come tonight on how you can create wealth as a career person. So everybody cannot be an entrepreneur, but everybody must be an investor. And we need to understand all those dynamics. So those are things that the book deals with. But as we travel around the world, I've also now realized that, with digital technology, with tech and all this stuff, we need to create opportunities for a lot of people to have the materials on digital platforms. So the books are now available. Like all these 3 books now, they are now available on Amazon. So you can go to Amazon and get them. But we now have them on flash drives so that you can have all the material in one pack. So every book I have written on wealth creation, I put everything together here, 7 of them in total. And all the audio programs on wealth creation that are here. So there's 50 common money mistakes to avoid. There's bridging the gap between the rich and the poor, creating your success story. There's how to increase your value in the marketplace. They are all available here. So you can get it. And once you get this one, you have everything. So with this, and when you are going, go with prosperity mind. Because they are not cheap. Tell your neighbor, say, go with prosperity mind. Because they are not cheap. So then my birthday was a few days ago. 20th of May was my birthday. So I also have a birthday gift for you. So if you go to my website, www.olumidemanuel.org, you can go and download the free book, 50 Common Money Mistakes to Avoid. The book and 3-part video. I'm giving it free for the month of May. So since we are still in the month of May, you can quickly go and download your own before we pull it down. So this morning, I want to talk to us about the journey to wealth. The journey to wealth. Because as entrepreneurs, we need to understand how to become wealthy, because you cannot give what you don't have. So many times, or let me call it the journey to financial freedom. Journey to wealth or journey to financial freedom. Many times, the challenge with people, like we have seen last year, is that they don't understand the purpose for wealth. So they have money without a mission. They have prosperity without a purpose. So we've dealt with that. So we now know that everything we have belongs to God. We now know that God is empowering us for the purpose of the kingdom. We now know that money is nothing but the tool for the fulfillment of purpose. But now there is a challenge. There are people that know that everything they have belongs to God. There are people that are actually willing to give. When God says give, they are ready to give, but they don't even have to give. If they have and they don't give, that would have been it, but now they don't even have. So this morning and tomorrow morning, and I want to take us on a journey and see how far we can go. If we're not able to finish, just get the book. I also want to look at the journey to financial freedom. How you as an individual, as a family, as an organization can move from point A to get into the place where you are now financially free, and where you are really coming to a place of wealth where whatever God requires or expects of you, you'll be able to produce. Do we understand that? Okay, so let's start from Proverbs chapter 4 and verse number 7. Proverbs 4:7. Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and in all your getting, get understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and in all your getting, get understanding. The New Living Translation says, getting wisdom is the wisest thing you can do, and whatever else you do, develop good judgment. Another translation says, wisdom, getting wisdom is the most important thing that you can do, but along with your wisdom, develop common sense and good judgment. Psalm 66 verse 12. Psalm 66 verse 12 says, you have caused men to ride over our heads. We went through fire and through water, but you brought us out into a wealthy place. Now, God wants us to be wealthy. God wants us to have enough resources that we require to fulfill his assignment and his agenda for our lives. So as God's children, I believe that the church has already matured to a place where we know that poverty is not of God and God doesn't want us to be poor. But then in order for us to journey into a place of abundance and journey into financial freedom, we need to begin by doing what we call personal diagnosis. You need to do a personal diagnosis to know exactly where you are as an individual. So when it comes to journey to financial freedom, there are 5 different sets of people on the wealth pyramid. There are 5 levels on the wealth pyramid. And whatever level you find yourself in, you need to identify that level so that you can navigate your way out of that level. So let's begin from the lowest level. Because you see, on the pyramid or the triangle of wealth, there are people that are at the bottom. And it's always bottom heavy. You know the triangle, the bottom is the biggest size. That's why we have most people. So the first level, which is the lowest level on that journey, are people that are in what we call financial crisis. Financial crisis. And that is where majority of people operate. As a matter of fact, the United Nations defines living in poverty as living below $2 a day. And living in extreme poverty as living below $1 a day. Amazingly, about 70% of people on the continent live below $1 a day. So that means that when you look at the entire continent of Africa, and that is reflected in most of the nations in Africa, you find that about 70% of the population are in financial crisis. 70% of the population are living in poverty, lack, and hardship. So when you are in financial crisis, you don't have any source of income. Or your source of income is not even enough that you have to live from hand to mouth and practically suffer all through life. When you are in financial crisis, it means that you lack everything that is required for a meaningful life. I hope you know that there are people that live under bridges. There are people that live in shanties all over the world. Not only in Africa, all over the world. And these people, they live there. As a matter of fact, something amazing happened in our country just last month. There are people that have been living under a bridge in our country for years. So the government went to demolish the shanties under the bridge last month, and people were shocked that most of the people that were living there have been living there for over a decade, and that they actually pay rent every year. Yeah. That there are actually people that come to collect rent in a wooden shanty. So there were lords that were lording it over people, even in that shanty, including law enforcement. But these people are also, when they say, are you alive? They will say they are alive. But that's the kind of life. So there are people that are in that realm where it's financial crisis. Where every time you are talking about money, they don't even understand what they're talking about because they have not even eaten. They are in financial crisis. But let me tell you something. If you are in that level, just know that that is not the plan of God for your life. And the fact that you are there does not mean that's where you will end. There's something about this God. He has the ability to change the stories of people. The Bible says he raises the poor from the dust and the needy from the dunghill, and he set them among princes, even the princes of the earth. So I believe that there are many people that will come through this week, and by the time we are done with this week, you have an encounter with God, and God will change your story. So number one is what? Financial crisis. The second set of people at the next, they are people that are in what we call financial instability. Financial instability. They are not really in crisis, so these ones are gainfully employed. They have a regular source of income, but the take home does not take them home. They have a regular source of income, but the income is not enough. So they have a job, Every day they wake up, they go to work. So what do you do for a living? They have a job, they have a career, they go to work. And they have been gainfully employed. So every month they get an income. Every week they get an income. Some of them are business people. They have a business they are doing. And every day they go. You see a lot of these people, going through the city. You see a lot of people selling different stuff by the side of the road. Food, kelewele, wache, kenke, banku. There are people all over. There are people at the bus stop selling stuff to you when you are in your trotro. They are selling. So they are employed. They have a job every day. They are making money, but they are poor. Why? Because they are in financial instability. So most of them, they probably get 5,000 Ghana cedis in a month or 3,000 Ghana cedis in a month, but their expenses is 17,000. So they are actually making money, they are working, but they have to now join one cooperative, collect money from here, borrow from here to pay this one and pay small. So they are not stable. And one of the amazing things about this group of people is that if one crisis or unexpected expenses comes into their life, they are back into crisis. And there are people that are working now, even the salary they will earn from now till December cannot pay the debt that they are already owing. But they are hardworking people. So these are the realities. So you need to now find out where you are, because the challenge I have with people is that if people are lying to you, don't lie to yourself. Self-deception is the highest level of deception. If you are deceived by people, you can be delivered from people's deception. But when you are deceiving yourself, it is called delusion. And when you are deluded, you end up in derision. That's madness. Hello? So don't lie to yourself. Because the problem is that we package too much. There's so much packaging. You don't know. You don't know that you don't know. You don't want to know. You don't have money. Nothing is working. And you are still proud and arrogant. You are not ready to learn. People that will help you, you are angry against them. How can you fight your destiny helper and find help? Hello? So those are the second set of people. Financial what? Instability. The third set of people are people that are in financial stability. And look, these ones, unfortunately, they are the ones that we celebrate. But to me, they are the most deceived set of people. You know why? I'll tell you. When people are in financial crisis, except they are deluded, they know they are in crisis and they are seeking for help. When people are in financial instability, except they are deceived and deluded, they know that things are not stable. They are seeking for help. But you see those people in financial stability, they are very proud and arrogant and deluded. Why? These people have money. They are high net worth individuals. They are high flyers. They have cars. They are landlords. They have houses of their own. They travel abroad. Their children are in private schools. So they even have savings. They are the ones that you are celebrating. They are the ones you are trying to be like. But you know why they are the most dangerous set of people? Every money they are making is because they have a good job. The day they lose that job, 90 days later, they are poor. That's why it's very dangerous. Because these ones, they travel abroad. They are the ones that fly around the world. They have visas to every country. Their children are in private school. You go to their house, you see 3 cars. And they are landlord. They are not paying rent. They even have savings. And they are the big boys. They are the big girls in town. But it's because they are high net worth individuals. They are earning big money. Most of those flying around, it's not their money. Company is paying for it. They have official car. They have official house. They get special benefit. They get bonuses. They make good money. They know the big people. Sometimes they are doing birthday. Somebody can just give them 10,000 Ghana cedis to say happy birthday because of their position. Somebody can buy them shoes, buy them designer things. So, but the day they lose that job, have you noticed that when a politician stops being a politician, there is no more greeting in the newspaper? Hello? I hope you know that your former president did birthday. How many of you celebrated him? The former president who did birthday. Did you see any advert? No. It's when you are reigning that people will talk about you. So most of the people, they don't have plans for themselves. I've seen people that are high flyers and they lose their job and you see them packing out of the official residence in shame. You see them collecting the cash from them, and then some of them have even collected loan from the company, and then you now see them within 90 days. The man that is always looking fine, well shaven, with smelling nice, you now see him, he looks like an old man. And you're like, what happened? He has lost his job. And most of them, they are not able to recover because the shock, because they have been in that business, maybe they have been there, high flyer, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 27 years. So by the time they now come out, they realize that they are no more in touch with reality, and they cannot start afresh again because they have become big boys. Their appetite is big, and they find themselves in financial instability. And it is at those times in life you begin to realize that many of your relationships are transactional. You begin to realize that people don't really love you, they love what you do. You begin to realize that all the friends you have, they were fair weather friends. Because most of them, the big guys that they used to meet together in golf club, meet together in the club, will no more pick their calls. Why? Because there's nothing you have to offer me. The position that made me to be close to you, somebody else is occupying the position. I need to service the next person, and they are gone. So if you are here today now, I'm trying to help you to understand how to move to a level where you will not be a victim. Because like I said to you last year, God is your source. You remember? God is your source. Every other thing is a resource. The very minute you lose sight of that, there will be trouble. Because the definition I gave you last year is the software that runs kingdom people. Kingdom wealth is a wealth that has its source in God, and the kingdom has its purpose. That's it. That should be your software. Anything I'm doing, oh, God is my source. Oh, the kingdom. It's all about